All right, how's everybody doing? This is we're going to talk about another science fiction movie from the 90s. Well, I might as well say the 80s, an old classic that nobody seems to really care about, but I like them, so I'm going to talk about them anyway. This one is called The Fifth Element. This one here is a science fiction drama. Language is in English or French. Science fiction action film. Okay, so this one's got Bruce Willis in it. Who else is in there? Bruce Willis, Gray Oldman, Chris Tucker, Orrin Holman, Melina Jovic. Probably got half of those names wrong. Always do. So anyway, this was based in, well, it started in 1914. The movie progressed through time, but there was a scientist in 1914 in France, I guess, desert someplace. Inspecting graffiti, expected hieroglyphs on the Egyptian tomb. I guess they were in Egypt. But he was reading hieroglyphs, and they had a reporter there with him, and they were trying to figure out what the thing said, and then spacecraft landed and lit up the cave where they were trying to use a mirror. They didn't have to worry about the light no more and all that fun stuff. Then the big burly aliens in metal suits walked in and shocked everybody, made everybody crazy, and the next thing you know, they're opening a door in the cave and going in and taking some stones out. 4 of them actually, plus another thing they took out, hauled it all back to their spaceship, took off with it. Then in the 22nd century, the evil appears from deep space, and they were set to destroy it, protect Earth, protect humanity, protect everything. So the established government at the time, Zog, was helping the bad, but the established government, we'll talk about him in a minute, was Zorn, trying to shoot everything they had at it with their ships to stop it before they crossed this international space border. Wow, international space borders. Anyway, so they brought this, and they got the entities crossed the border. They got blown up. Let's see what else happened in there. The priest Cornelius went to the Fed, to the government, and tried to get him to let everybody go by, and he failed. He said humanity was done, and then Bruce Willis was a cab driver in an upstairs with a floating cab, or a cab with no wheels, flying cars. They had different elevations, different roads, because they were all running inside the buildings in New York, or at least so the fantasy goes in this one. So they capture or regrow after they find the fifth element hand thing, just a metal glove with that they regrow it because it had DNA in it. So they regrow it in this machine that made our starring lady in this one, and she broke out of her encasement because they were trying to get her to talk and all that fun stuff. And then she had a police action on her once she got outside because they were trying to arrest her and put her back. Yeah, that was fun. And she got outside of the building on 50 stories, and she didn't know what to do about them telling her they're going to arrest her, and she's supposed to stay right where she's at and put her hands up. Didn't know what to do about that. So she dove off the building and ended up landing in Bruce Willis's floating taxi. bada boom, bada bing. She started talking all kinds of craziness. Then Bruce Willis decides to save her, and he dives down, runs over Taco Bell trucks on the ground, and all kinds of fun stuff. Drives around, and once he gets away, he takes her to meet a priest called Cornelius. Now, our bad guy Zorg is trying to grab information so the evil can get there and helping him and trying to find the 4 stones. So he hires Mangalores to go find them, and they did, because it was 4 crates of weapons for 4 stones. He didn't get it. They didn't get it. They brought him an empty box. And then Bruce Willis finds the stones at a floating hotel. As they use the term helm to 108, and that really stuck with me. I used it for a while just for fun. It confused people, so I quit doing it. It was just basically a change of directions. So when I had to change directions or change jobs, I'd say helm to 108 and go do the new thing. Then the manager or whoever would track me down and say, "Why did you say that? What was that about?" Yeah, well, they didn't figure it out, so it didn't matter. They didn't see the movie, or they weren't smart enough to follow my way of thinking, which sometimes I didn't follow my way of thinking. But they find that, they race back to the Earth after they get all that, after the Zorg puts a bomb on the space station, or the flying hotel. They race back from Mars, I guess, or an outer planet of the solar system. Then they race back, and the Mangalores got all beat up, shot up. There's a love story involved because Bruce Willis and Leeloo were involved, or going to be involved, because they were romantically entangled. Just romance. They didn't show anything about anything physical, but romance. It's old girl stuff. Then they race back, and she's looking up on the computer while they're racing back in the stolen spaceship that Zorg parked after he came back to turn the bomb off. When he realized he didn't get the stones, Bruce Willis took the stones out in a cloth wrapped around the stones, and they end up back landing 50 feet away from the cave where they need to set it all up, because the weapon's got to work where it's designed to work, in the cave. So they went in and figured out how to put the stones on there, and they figured out how to open them, because that was earth for earth, wind for fire. Fire, all the elements had to be there, present to activate them, like wind, blow, fire. They lit a match, and all kinds of fun stuff. It's kind of interesting. Then Leeloo, the 5th element, she was put in the center, and she didn't want to save everybody until Bruce Willis told her that he loved her, and she killed the bad planet, or the bad guy, or whatever, and everybody on the floating hotel blew up. They live happily ever after. Bruce Willis and the 5th element were last in the chamber, getting rejuvenized, and they were copulating at the time, having fun. I forget what the 5th they called it otherwise, but it was pretty good. All ends well at the end. Everybody goes off into the sunset. Bruce Willis has himself a girlfriend, and Mama calls on the phone, and the president just goes crazy about that. They hand the phone off like it's got germs. So they hang it up. Most people do. And then they kind of just went off from there. So this was a real good movie. I liked it. I recommend you watch this one. Even though it's old, you can still find it. It's one of those movies that it's always good for a long time. So this was distributed by Buena Vista International. It was 7th of May, 1997 in France. It came to the United States station too. It runs for 126 minutes. Country of origin is France. English is language. So it wasn't even a United States movie. They did a pretty good job. The budget was $90 million. Cool, look at that. $90 million they spent on this thing with all the special effects. I guess they would have had to. And a $263.9 million at the box office. So that's pretty good for a movie that they really didn't know if it was going to do anything. It turned out to be a good movie. I liked it. I'd recommend you go get it and watch it forever. Or the VHS tape out, and we'll get a DVD after that. And we'll talk to you later. See you on the next one.